Hi everyone, we are here today to introduce our Winter Wine Club wines. I'm Lily and this is Matt, our winemaker.
Hello.
Where are we today?
We are hanging out at the back of our cellar door here at our winery in Goleta, just north of Santa Barbara. You might hear some planes buzzing overhead. We're right by the Santa Barbara airport. We make all the wine right here. We've got our tasting located out front, outside at the moment. You can also taste our wines up at our great Los Olivos location for all our friends and club members tasting wine up in the valley. We're going to walk through our wines and our vineyards today. As most of the SAMsARA club members and SAMsARA lovers know, a lot of our vineyards are in the Santa Rita Hills. We work with all Santa Barbara County fruit, but really focus on those kind of western Santa Rita Hills cool climate sites.
We just want to say thank you to our wine club members. You're our biggest fans and we love you. And we're going to walk through these wines. Let's taste them.
Let's dive in. Cheers.
Cheers. Hi everyone, today we are tasting the 2018 Pinot Noir from Las Hermanas Vineyard. Matt, tell us about the vineyard.
Well, Las Hermanas is out on the very west end of Highway 246 in Santa Rita Hills. It's planted on a hillside block in the vineyard. It's north facing. The soils are really complex out there, really cool mineral driven soils with limestone and diatomaceous earth. What do we think about the wine?
I love this wine. It's a little bit lighter in body. It is more savory and spicy. I get some tart red fruits, but it is just really bright and fresh.
Yeah, and I love the texture. I think the whole cluster style really drives this wine a lot and lends itself to that kind of savory, spicy profile. And it really impacts the texture too and gives it that, super mouth coating, really cool textural quality that we love in our wines. And, I think the balance is great as well. It's drinking really good now, but really has the balance, the structure and the acidity and the flavor concentration that age really well.
Yeah. Awesome.
Cool. Well, thank you. Enjoy.
Cheers. Now we're tasting the 2014 Pinot Noir from Las Hermanas Vineyard. Matt, can you tell us about this vineyard?
Well, Las Hermanas, it's all the way out on the west end of Highway 246, really the coldest part of Santa Rita Hills. Even though we're in Southern California, and people think it might be a little warmer down here than our friends up in Sonoma and Napa, it's really a cool growing region, and Las Hermanas is on the far west end of that. So it's a really cool site, one of our favorites. This is a 2014 vintage wine. Why don't we taste the wine and then talk about it for a sec?
Let's taste the wine.
What do you think?
I love it. It's a little bit more structured than the 18. It has a nice core of fruit and a lot of savory and herbal characteristics. And on the nose, I get a lot of earthiness.
Yeah, it's kind of neat seeing what the 2018 will turn into after a couple more years in the bottle. I think this wine definitely has that big core of fruit. 2014 was a warm vintage. It was the very beginning of our drought in California that lasted for most of the decade. And I think that extra sunshine and heat really translates into that kind of dense core of fruit, which is still really fresh and fun and lively. I think this wine's tasting great now and really has some extra years in it.
So a cool site, but a warm vintage.
Exactly.
A lot going on in this wine.
Yeah, really complex.
All right, cheers.
All right. Cheers.
We have the 2018 Larner Grenache. We are venturing outside of the Santa Rita Hills slightly into Ballard Canyon. Matt, do you want to talk about this vineyard? I know you have a long history here and you love Larner.
Yeah,
love
thanks.
Larner.
I do love Larner. We all do here at SAMsARA, but I have a long history at Larner Vineyard. I've been making wine from Larner Vineyard grapes since 2005, so 16 plus years now. And truly one of my favorite sites, and I think for Grenache, it's really a match made in heaven. And the sandy soils, the limestone, the mineral deposits throughout Ballard Canyon and at Larner Vineyard specifically, just really contribute a lot of complexity to the fruit. Let's try this wine.
Let's try it. It's full of fruit. Grenache can kind of go a number of different ways. It's kind of a chameleon based on the soil type, the climate when you pick it, and I think that this really showcases a bigger, more voluptuous style of Grenache, which is great.
Yeah, I love how Grenache can be really, elegant and lean in a cold year, and in a slightly warmer year like 2018, it can be, a more full-bodied, powerful wine. I love the fruit concentration on this bottling. I still think it has great balance, and it's firing right now, but it'll really do well. Grenache is one of my favorite wines to lay down, and they always benefit from some extra age.
Yeah, this wine has that classic Larner texture, but a little bit more fruit than the 17. It's just a little bit bigger bodied and more powerful.
Yeah, it's neat to see, the different impact that the vintage can make, and how Grenache can be beautiful at different, click, click, click. It's nice all along the way.
Yeah, this is a great wine. Good
Cool.
food wine.
Great food wine, super
Yes.
versatile. Cheers.
This is a 2015 OM Syrah. This is our reserve bottling of Syrah. And Matt, can you tell us a little bit about the reserve program?
I can, yeah. The OM Syrah, OM really represents our very best barrel, or in some vintages, 2 barrels of Syrah that we produce from all our vineyards. And we're really shooting for a style for the OM Syrah. It's not vineyard designated because sometimes that superstar barrel comes from different vineyards depending on the vintage. We're looking for an elevated style that's extra aromatic, extra textural, and really just kind of stands above the rest. Let's taste the wine.
Yeah, you can even, before you even taste it, you can smell just the power of this wine. I think that it's really in the style of a wine that's made for longevity. We release it a little bit later. We hold it in the bottle a little longer, and this wine will age.
Yeah, it definitely has that concentration, that depth of flavor, and the balance to really, it's tasting great right now, but 10 years from now, I expect it'll still have time left.
20 years.
Could be.
Who knows?
Yeah.
There won't be any left by then, but.
Yeah, and 2015, the vintage was definitely a hot year. It was right in the middle of our drought. We had really low yields in 2015, probably the lowest yielding vintage of the decade for Syrah. And I think for this bottling, you can really taste that extra power and that extra depth of flavor from those low yields.
Yeah, it definitely has that classic Syrah character, the smoky meat and chaparral and green olive, but then it has a really big burst of fruit on the palate, which is really nice. So
yeah, it's kind of a stunner.
Yeah.
It's a showstopper, and if you taste it with a few other wines next to it, I think this will probably kind of outperform whatever's on the table.
Yeah. So this
Yeah.
is our reserve wine, about 50 cases made.
Only
of
2
this
barrels.
Bottling. So
Yep.
yeah, 2 barrels. And this is custom artwork from one of our good friends and wine club members. So you get the hand dipped wax bottle, and we have this artwork hanging in our tasting room.
All right. Cheers.